Welcome to AltJake Takes On. Hello again, everybody. We are back. I am AltJake. You're listening to AltJake Takes On, episode number 40 here on Black Friday with my buddy George, as always. How you doing today, my friend?
Doing very good. Feeling good. Looking good. That's
right. We always, I feel like we started this show right when right before the weather got crappy for both of us, and we bitched about the heat for 4 or 5 months. We're now both in like the perfect weather zone. It's like 73 and sunny where I am.
I got one day coming where it's not gonna be nice, but I'll take it.
But it goes quickly. That's the thing about, I feel like, with places like us, where if you do get a bad weather, like we had like 3 or 4 days of not intense rain, but pretty steady rain, which is crappy for us because we don't have any drainage here in Phoenix. And then halfway through one sunny day, it was all dried up and fine. Like,
yeah, it's all it takes. Like yesterday in Buffalo, it was snowing and 68 mile per hour winds consistently.
Good Lord.
Yes. And I now don't live in Buffalo anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and this is why. No, I when I was younger and after school, I thought I could do like the Northeast because I got family there and stuff. And yeah, I made it through. Yeah, I made it through. I always joke, I made it through a winter and a half in Boston. I was like, nope. Because the first one, apparently I got one of those like mild winters and I was still dying. And people kept saying, this is a nice one. I'm like, this isn't good. And I feel like when people move here to Phoenix and they move in the summer, I'm like, you can get through like, July and August, you'll be fine throughout the rest of the year, but
right,
it's tough. No, and I admit it. No, and like my car got covered in snow, and I was just like, and I always hear the cliche, you don't have to shovel sunshine, and it was a dumb joke, and then I got it in that moment. Yeah, I was like 23, and I'm like, oh no, yeah, this all tracks, and I'm going home, and I've only lived either here or LA since. I'm like,
the only reason I mentioned the Buffalo thing is because I told you prior to going on, I said we got some snow coming Monday. It's like an inch of snow. In Arkansas, it's like a big deal.
Oh, for sure.
Like Tuesday, it's 45 degrees. So it's here, it's gone.
Doesn't
stick around.
The old company I worked for, their headquarters was in Denver, and I would go up there for certain trainings or different things. And a couple of times twice it was in January. And like both times, if they had snow, but then like the sun in the morning, it would melt away except for the places in the shade, as opposed to when I was back east and like it was the snow from 3 months ago is still here because it has
that dirty black snow that sits in the corner for till April.
Yeah, right. It just it's disgusting just sitting there. It's like the snowman, but like the crackhead snowman on the corner. Yeah. Like, hey guys, that's and again, this is why I live in Phoenix. I'm much better at
reasons why we both live where we do.
Yeah, no, exactly. And this is why. So we might as well enjoy it this time of year where we can have nice weather with it. But
hey, as you know, yesterday was Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving belated to everybody. And yesterday we did our live show, which was very well attended, I might say.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say was thanks for everybody for coming out on our our later timed edition, but we are thinking we're gonna make that our permanent time edition of 9:30 Eastern. It was a good time to go through and for people to come after Thanksgiving crowd. And we still want to talk about Dynamite. And if people like that, and that seems to be a thing for it, I am not opposed to it. I am not, especially for me, I guess, I'm in,
you're
that's 7:30 for me. So it's pretty perfect.
So yesterday was Thanksgiving, and obviously yesterday is the big NFL day. So I have a point here coming. The NFL demographic that watches TV is my age group, like me, Don Wayne, guys like that. Watch NFL on TV live. That's our group. Where I'm heading with this is think about the group you're talking about. 50 to 60, 45 to 60 probably. You're probably in there too a little bit.
Yeah, I'm close. I'm just under that 45 demographic.
That's your people. That's your guys. Yeah. So when you hear like Bad Bunny's gonna be doing the Super Bowl halftime show, that's not your core group. Yesterday's halftime show, the first game out was Detroit Lions. Their halftime show was unbelievably good. It was Jack White and Eminem.
Okay, and Detroit. In Detroit, that makes a lot of sense.
Dude, I never watch halftime shows for Thanksgiving because I'm busy. But I saw them introduce Jack White, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good. So
recently inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Jack White.
Volume goes on my TV up to about decent level. dude, he is a great guitar player, which I forgot about. Very underrated guitar player.
Oh no, he's perfectly rated. You just admit, no, he's well rated. He's mostly considered one of the top 5 living guitar players in the world.
So this show was spectacular. Like I jumped on.
I didn't see it, but that sounds.
I jumped on the NFL's post about it, and I just put Jack White, what a guitar player, and like 15,000 people saw that thing. I'm like, okay, well, people obviously agree with me, so that's cool. But that's the show you need for people that watch the NFL, is what I saw yesterday. It was awesome.
To a point. I mean, it's one of those things though, like where is it something where the halftime show is trying to appeal to what you already have, or are you trying to bring in new audiences and new eyes?
I don't care. The people that are there, the people that are watching the game.
Well, I mean, that makes sense for Detroit. I mean, that's well on. I mean, that's 2 of Detroit's most famous and prominent people. I mean, Eminem is one of, if not the most. I'm trying to think, are they Detroitians? I don't know what they are, but either way,
Detroitonians.
There you go, Detroitonians. I like that. If that's not what it is, it's what it is on this show now. I like that one. Yeah, no, and one of the most famous, like possibly ever, is obviously Eminem, and Jack White isn't as famous as Eminem is, but he's, like I said, one of the most famous. I mean, he's headline Coachella.
So good.
Because he's done all this stuff, not only with the White Stripes, but with his other bands, but just solo as well. Like, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of his personally, but I fully respect his talent. Like, he's awesome. Like, I get that. I've seen him. I saw him at a Coachella one year. He's great.
Yeah,
I mean,
seeing Eminem,
and that makes sense to have the 2 of them together for that.
Seeing Eminem with a full beard's a little weird, but it was all right. It was good. It was really good. It was really good.
I mean, we all get there, man. That was like, what was it? Fred Durst came out looking like he had the gray hair. And that, it gets us all, man. Time waits for no man. Yeah, no.
But they played like 15 minutes, I want to say 15 minutes.
I mean, that's what a halftime show's supposed to be.
They ended with
Seven Nation Army is that
unbelievably
song.
Good. They did such a good job of it. He was so good on guitar. The solo was excellent. So that's what I would like to have seen. Super Bowl time, it would have been nice, but whatever.
I mean, Bad Bunny is the most. He's
downloaded.
The most
I don't
famous
give a shit about that. I don't care.
But that's how people. I mean, that's what people listen to.
Yeah, but
nowadays.
that's not the end. Well, look at it this way: the Super Bowl crowd's different than the Thanksgiving crowd.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, the
Super Bowl crowd, you're paying $3,000 a ticket, and it's all.
I'm
corporate.
not even.
It's all corporate,
right? And I'm not even talking about the live audience. Dude. The Super. I mean, that's for the massive. Whatever the 100 million or however many million people have watched the Super Bowl every year with it. But I mean, that's what the halftime show. Even they do it at the World Cup final too, like where it's their big thing. It's the halftime shows have just kind of become. It's more of an advertisement, and I've always looked at the halftime shows as this is what you're trying to appeal to the masses that don't watch you every week. I mean, it's kind of like similar in the way of AEW, where they're just going to put on the same type of blood and guts that they do because that's what their fans love. What I'm
gonna like to see is I'm gonna like to see the ratings for the halftime show from yesterday, and then I'd like to see how many people watch the halftime show for the Super Bowl. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
just something for me to look at. That's all.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you this. Usually, like my wife, the only thing she watches at the Super Bowl every year is the halftime.
Yeah, they all watch it, but how many people watch the halftime show? That's
I mean.
You'll get 40 million people watching the Super Bowl. It's crazy.
The Super Bowl. I mean, it's the most watched thing in American television, if not American sports. And then I always laugh because that's where, like I was saying, with the World Cup final, it's like in the billions of people with it. And it's something that they try to appeal to the masses. You're trying to get, I mean, hey, I will fully admit I had never even heard of Bad Bunny until he showed up in WWE with the Booker T thing during was it the Thunderdome era? And that's not my style of music. I speak some Spanish, but not much. I can roll my R's. That's fine, but I don't speak as much Spanish. But I mean, he seems fine. That's not my style. But if one thing, if nothing else, I will always love him for changing celebrity involvement in wrestling.
Yeah, he did a good job there.
He made that thing of like, oh shit,
a good match.
Do really some
good,
work.
Really good stuff.
Yeah, well, and he put in the work and effort, and it wasn't. I like it because my immediate go-to of wrestling and celebrities is always like Snooki and that terrible match and stuff like that, where they they try to throw a punch or do something stupid, and it's just he came out and like put in the work and has done a couple of matches now. I mean, that match in Puerto Rico was fun with Damian Priest. I mean, so I didn't know anything about him until then, but I've seen him on Saturday Night Live now. I mean, he seems like a talented guy enough, and I get what they're doing with it. I'm not the biggest fan, but I just
think you lose your guys like me. That's all.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but they're going to lose those guys anyway in a couple of years.
Not during Super Bowl, not during.
I'm just joking.
Okay, I watched Prince's halftime show. Thought that was great. Michael Jackson's halftime show. Thought that was great.
Yeah,
there's a bunch that I watched.
All right, I get you, but it's a little in the eight. I mean, they're trying to appeal to the younger demographic. That's their goal.
They don't watch TV. They don't watch TV.
I get that, and they're trying to get them to. That's the whole point. Like people are going to watch.
The old my experiment. We'll see what happens. I'll keep it in my back pocket just for fun.
You say experiment, but I don't think their goal is that. Though.
No, it's not. It's my experiment. I already said that. It's my pet peeve. It's my thing.
I get you.
Because that's how I operate.
Like AEW is done for one person and one person only.
Me.
No, I get you. Yeah, you just don't have the billions of dollars to run it beyond what we're doing on this show. No, I respect it. I get it. I get you.
So I got two last topics before we hit in the
What's
Raw.
up?
I kind of be remiss if we didn't at least touch on this, and I didn't want to, but we kind of have to. What did you make of Mr. Bret Hart's comments?
Oh God,
dude!
It's
been a rumor for a while.
Right.
We've heard of this. Now
right. He's the first person to be like, I believe this. And
he believes it.
Right. I was going to say, like, Brett's not one to, like, I hate to be a jerk, but Brett's not one he doesn't really have much of a sense of humor. Brett's not really a jokester. That's not Brett.
Yeah, you could tell because when he said it, the whole crowd's laughing.
Right. And he's not.
Everyone's laughing. He's stone-faced.
Right. And if you're cracking a joke, like, it's one of those things, like, I will laugh at my own jokes when other people laugh with it. And then you go, but when you say something like that and everybody laughs and you're serious, it's okay. So here's the thing.
Yeah. So for those living under a rock.
Right. Yeah. That's I don't know what it was on. It was some sort of live show that he was doing. It seemed like one of those like live podcast situations.
It's a European thing. I think they were English guys.
Okay. With the English, that makes sense. Because I've seen them do that with like, what is it? Like Inside the Ropes does that a lot where they've done it with, I've seen Paul Heyman, Cornette. I've seen Cornette with Jim Ross, where they'll do like live tours where they'll go over to England and they'll do, they'll play 2 shows in London, a show in Manchester, a show in Liverpool, and maybe go up to Scotland, like the big cities in the UK. And I mean, bands do that and stuff too. But some of them are recorded as like either extras for the Patreon, some of them in their podcast, whatever it was. But Brett was being interviewed by somebody, and I didn't see what led up to the question. I've just seen like him speaking.
Nothing led up to it. He just started. This was fired out of the gate.
He just came out swinging. Hey,
I tried to look and see, and this looks like it just came out swinging, dude.
Vince and Sean were banging and
lovers.
Phil Goldberg. Yeah, lovers. That was the word. Yeah, and that's what he said. I mean, he came out, and as he said, the rumors have been. There's been plenty of different rumors. There's been also clips where you hear, I mean, obviously Vince was going to put over his biggest stars when he was the announcer, but the way he put over Sean and what he said and
what he put up with.
Yeah. And how he let him, how sexual it got that's always the thing. Like Sean wasn't technically part of the Attitude Era, but what he was doing built up to it. But there's also like the clips of Vince just staring at Sean lovingly, but I always felt like he looked at Sean as money, like it was he thought Sean was going to be like the next Ric Flair and that part of it. But so my thought of it is, and I always thought, I'm like, that's a funny rumor, but I
bet you didn't think I was going to bring this one up, did you?
No, I didn't. But I mean, I did. So what's funny is I meant to actually bring it up in the pre-show before we started recording. Did we want to talk about this? Because it seems like something you've got to at least mention. For God's sakes, it broke the news. But do I really believe that it happened? No, I do not. Do I think it's funny? Yes. Do I think Brett believes it? Yes.
Absolutely.
Like
100%
the thing about Brett is he's always, and a lot of times he's right. So I understand where he goes. But a lot of the way he looks at like everything is he's always right, and it was everybody else wrong and conspiring against him. And a lot of times it was true, or Bill Goldberg throwing the kick and hitting him in the face and all that. It is their fault a lot of times, but I just feel like he's kind of gone a little bit like tin hat with it in some days. And I love Bret. I'm one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Shit. The first ever classic match that we ever did on this channel was Bret Hart and Stone Cold. Two of my all-time favorites. Now, I would always consider myself a Shawn guy growing up, but also like 1997, remind you, I turned 15 that year. So of course I was on Shawn's side as a child. As I grew up and like rewatched it all, it's like, Jesus, he was a prick. And I totally like understood Bret's side of it as an adult. Yeah. And Bret, I mean, he's one of, you'd be hard pressed to find anybody if you gave their Mount Rushmore or top 5 that if you're not going to include Bret Hart in there, like, come on. Like,
Michaels is still legendary around my area down here, Little Rock, Arkansas, for causing that riot. Yeah, it happened.
Yes, that did happen.
I've gone into town. Man. I've gone to Little Rock a couple times, and I've asked people that were down there, and they remember it. Like, yeah.
So I guess we won't be saying. So I guess when because NXT does their road trips here and there, I guess they will be doing Little Rock anytime soon.
No, they've come back.
And you know, you gotta, like, I know a lot of people still hold Shawn accountable for what he did, and it is what it is, but you gotta look at it as he really has changed as a human being.
And
and I always give people that chance. Now, if we were still hearing of like he was being a dirty bastard behind the stages or behind the scenes at NXT, or you know, he was still doing as many pills to do, but he's fully reformed and he's a changed human being. And I get that some people can't accept that, and that's fine for what it is, but I do not believe, no, personally, I don't believe that it happened. That now, do I believe that they had like one of those like really tight friendships that shouldn't be happening between a boss and employee? I was gonna say subordinate, but that didn't feel right. Employee, probably not. Clearly, I mean, Vince wanted to be a part of the clique at different points, and that's not. You shouldn't be buddy. As Vince we see now again with AEW,
like a son, didn't he? He said that before. He said Shawn was like a son to me. I don't see that crossing that line.
No, I don't either. Even as crazy as Vince was, I don't see it.
He likes women. I mean, we've seen that.
Definitely
doesn't pay respect.
That's for sure. We've seen a lot of that, especially with the different lawsuits or NDA things that have come forward recently. It seems that way. Vince is weird. He's got a lot of picadillos, and there's our power trip things where some people don't care about which way it swings. I would need more evidence with it. I'm always one of those people. If you show me more evidence, I mean, there's that thing of Shawn putting his ass in Vince's face, but there was a good point in time where he was putting his crotch or ass in front of anybody's face.
Just some weird. I mean, that's all. Yeah. Weird statement at a weird time.
Yeah. Now when people are going to talk about it, actually, I first heard about it. Actually, shout out to AEW Disciplinary Dis and Awful. I was watching Dis is Awful when I think it was they did a Saturday show last weekend and talking about it. And I had heard Bret said some shit, but I didn't hear what it was. But
I watched it. I
hadn't until then, and that was the best way to get to watch it, was having people breaking it down and talking about it, because
I saw it when it premiered. Like when it was up, I saw it as it was happening. No. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, no, I was out and about doing something and then came home with it and whatever and saw it. I was like, it was. The thing is, I'm not even surprised Bret said it, though, is the other thing. Like, he's not going to hold back. He doesn't have a filter. He doesn't care. Because what's it going to hurt him? He's not going to make that affect his life, even if it is bullshit. And if it's not, okay.
Yeah.
But, I do not think it's real, though. No.
Okay. Since you mentioned his name, I wanted to do a quick little follow-up on something. If you remember way back when we were talking about Bubba the Love Sponge, talking about Hulk Hogan's death and stuff. And Bubba had I think I mentioned it on here too. Bubba had mentioned he wouldn't be surprised if Hogan got a hold of some street drugs of some kind, some stuff that maybe wasn't okay. So Ric Flair today has said that Hulk Hogan probably passed away from street drugs.
Oh God.
Where is it?
Rick. That's all you said. Ric Flair said today. Oh shit. I mean, at least he didn't attack any Egyptians, is all I can say. Like Ric Flair anymore. Just when he opens his mouth.
That was something we did talk about.
right.
Way back.
Well, because there was the whole thing where there was like, what was it? Like there was somebody said they had body cam footage or something. Like there was a lot of weird things that were going along. And
Okay, here's
it
what
was almost like,
here's what
okay,
Rick actually wrote. There seems to be some controversy over my remarks that over my remarks that street drugs killed Hulk Hogan. I was only repeating what I know. People, this is tough to read because he capitalizes every.
I was just gonna say is every first letter capitalized.
Me.
Yeah, that's the Ric Flair style.
That street drugs killed Hulk Hogan. I was only repeating what I know to be a fact through family members. After 11 back surgeries, hip replacements, knee replacements, shoulder replacements, and 2 neck surgeries, I am sure the pain was, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, that's
okay.
Well,
I'm not going to read
Rick's
this whole
probably.
Okay, I got a couple minutes.
I feel like Rick also, yeah, I mean, and I'm not, shout out to all of our boomer audience, but I feel like Rick is like the boomer thing where he does like the talking into his phone. And it's Rick. And if you listen to Rick be interviewed, he kind of, he doesn't go full on like Dave Meltzer with the and the and the rambling sentences, but he kind of does. So it's when you were reading it, I was visualizing Rick like talking into this phone, saying it, and just
I'm gearing up for the end here.
What I know to be I was only repeating what I know to be fact. So you're not disputing this in any way. Okay.
Then he goes into the surgeries. I am sure the pain was unbearable. A doctor, as I know, can only prescribe so much pain medication under medical guidelines. I've been told that all they did was to help him, not to hurt him, to help him get through the night and the pain eventually that catches up with you. As we know with everybody, he was my friend, a man I respected, and I'm only reporting what I've been told, nothing more, nothing less. This is not an attempt to demean Hulk Hogan or his legacy. I have always referred to him as one of the 2 biggest stars in the industry, himself and Steve Austin. I apologize if people okay.
Yeah,
no, apologizing for nothing.
Right.
Because he said what he said and he's standing by it. So
right. Well,
what we talked about with Bubba way back when, Bubba even suggested that, and that's what Flair is confirming, basically.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing: is trying to decipher what he was saying, and as somebody who interviews people for a living as a recruiter, sometimes you have to like read the lines. So here's, to me, what I think Rick is saying is, with whatever he said initially, people I think took that was that Hogan was like going out and buying the street drugs and like making sure he was taking them, like, chopping them up and snorting them or injecting them or whatever. And what Rick is saying,
which he's never done, by the way.
Right. Well, and especially when you have the money, other people do it for you. But I think what Rick is saying is the doctors, almost similar to like a Michael Jackson situation where the doctors are just kind of not even prescribing, but administering whatever. So I think what he's saying is the doctor can only prescribe so much legally, that Hogan was still in pain. And so he went out and got street drugs, which we all know these days they've got the, I don't know what we're allowed to say on YouTube, so I'll say fentanyl. Yeah, I was gonna say fent, but yeah, but exactly. And so, and from what I understand about that, if you like any amount, if you snort it or inject it, there's a chance it's good night. Exactly. So that's what I think Rick is trying to say, is that his initial comment, people took it as like Hogan was doing, or excuse me, Rick thought that people were taking it as Hogan was doing it of it, and calling up his guy and shooting text of like, come through or whatever. But what I think what he's trying to say is it was the doctor's fault, which goes back to what you were saying. What you report. That's what I feel like it is. And that's kind of what like Bubba the Lunch Fund saying, of like saying there was malpractice and there was like the body cam footage and the wife would flush stuff. So it sounds like to me that Rick is saying that either through the wife / doctors or whatever were just pumping Hogan full of drugs to keep him out of pain. Some of them may not have been legal, and that's what killed him, and may or may not have. What it is. But I mean, also, Rick ain't wrong about the amount of pain that Hogan was probably in due to everything. I mean, I can't.
Plus, he had that stupid neck surgery, which he should have been rest. We talked about all this before, but
yes, yeah, when he went out and shit and stuff, yeah. But
it's just weird that he would just pick now. The timing of shit is just so strange to me.
I mean, but that's also Ric Flair.
Like, what's going on? We got to do this, bring this up now. He's been dead for a while now.
Yeah, it's been a bit. I mean, that's why when you said Ric Flair said today, oh God, You just don't know what did he get hammered on Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving Eve and go
But
yell
these
at people
statements
at a
were all
pizza
pretty
party?
close to one another. Like one was made right after the other, so he had to clear it up, and he
Uh,
cleared up nothing.
and he had to clear it up, and all he did was smudge the window more.
Just said the same
Thanks, Rick.
thing. I mean, Jesus.
I mean, that's Ric Flair. I mean, that's Ric Flair these days. As again, back to what I was saying about it, there's people that are on the Mount Rushmore or top of what Ric Flair has done the last 10, 15, 20 years doesn't take away from what he did the 30 to 40 before that. But there's a difference, and he has. Honestly, almost every time Ric Flair does or says whatever, I always just feel bad for Charlotte because you just got to be like, God damn it, Dad, just stop. But I mean, that's Ric Flair.
He put that what I read. He put out like a half hour ago.
Okay, all right. So he's Black Friday shopping.
Oh boy,
Black Friday drinking. The Egyptian.
Just fun stuff.
Yeah, no, that's good. No,
But I figure we tie that all back to when we talked about way back when. We bring it full circle, and here we are.
Yeah, but yeah, we can finalize put a pin on it or tie a bow on the love sponge situation.
And what a way to get in the Raw from last week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Raw live. I feel like that's a big change. Live, they were last week. They were in Madison Square Garden, and no harm on OKC, Oklahoma City, but that's where they were this week. Which I mean, hey, they had a good crowd there. I've been to Oklahoma City, as I've probably told in this podcast before, where my job was recruiting, and I would recruit college students. So I would go to different universities around like the Southwestern, even any of the Western United States. Oklahoma City was one of the places I went. And then I would go to Norman for OU, or was it Stillwater for Oklahoma State? But it's a nice area. It gets a lot of flack, but it's a nice area with it. And they had a hot crowd. I don't know how many people were there, but it seemed like a lot. They were loud.
They filled the building. That's the basketball place.
And right where the Thunder play. And it was like when Roman came out, he even kind of laughed at one point because they just kept cheering and different chants, and like he just kind of had to stand there for a bit. That was fun. Like that was cool. That's it's one of those situations where I know a lot of people are like, oh God, the entrances or that kind of stuff takes, but it's part of the show with it. Yeah. And Roman knows how to milk that better than just about anybody. I feel like I'm in
that half and half boat.
Yeah, I get you.
I mean, I enjoy it. I just wish it would speed along, but I get it.
Yeah. Well, and also with Roman, that's part of his deal because he only is on 10, 12 shows a year. It feels like. I mean, he's just not that he's like he's the negative reverse of Cody, who's at every.
He looks great, by the way. He looks awesome.
He does.
Really leaned up a lot. Looks really
good. And I think we talked about this before on a Spaces at one point about it, where because I don't think he needs to go nearly as lean as Rock went at one point or has gone recently when he first went into movies though and trimmed down. But there is that level where you don't want to just be like Arnold in the movies, and you got to be able to boo. You got to be able to play like the big guy or the everyman with it.
Yeah,
but
he looks like someone I could be afraid of yet be respectful of. Same thing.
Yeah. And he did the acknowledge me, and then immediately, which Cody comes out. And then it's always great too with people, because I saw recently that Cultaholic reposted a quote from our good old friend Ebu from Wrestle Purist, who I just
called already out of this conversation.
Well, no, he posted like 3 or 4 days ago that there's rumors that WWE that they don't want to have Cody and Roman on TV together, that blah 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 blah, and immediately the first time they had a chance to afterwards, no, they don't have it. I don't think it was a response to them at all. I just think it was proving that they all make up bullshit, and they came out together, and Cody and Roman had a little bit of an exchange. Cody reaches out his hand to say, hey, will you be on my team? And then Punk comes out, and you just have 3 giant stars. Like, this really does kind of just start to show you how big this War Games actually is. I mean, these
biggest one yet, right?
Stars. I mean, I
don't remember one with such star power on both.
Not in sides. WWE. I'm sure I can't remember every single instance that they had them in WCW or wherever, where like of the 10 guys, how many are in Hall of Fames or whatever with it. But since WWE has, especially since, and obviously before it was NXT, but since, what has it been, the last 4 years now, or maybe 3, that they've done Survivor Series War Games. I know they did it, 2022? I want to say 2022, 23, 24, but it might have been 2021 as well. I'm not sure. But either way, since they brought it to WWE as Survivor Series War Games, this is by far the biggest in my eyes. I haven't seen bigger
And
yet.
even going through my memory bank on WCW and Georgia Championship Wrestling and all that, I can always pick one guy on each team that wasn't as top star. Like Dusty Rhodes' team would be, Dusty, Tommy Rich, or something, stuff like that.
I get you. There's
always one person that wasn't quite there, but they were still stars.
One
and
of
the
these
heels
things
were always like Flair, the Horseman, Nikita, stuff like that. But there's always one you would look at that would take the pin. Here you're looking
and
at
even like when it was like right, and even when it was like JJ Dillon, it's like, yeah, he's the manager, but he also was a wrestler, and he's the top manager in the entire company with it. So there was stuff to it with it, but it's just one of those things that this one here, and I've got the card saved to pull up later at the end of the show, but it is just the most star-studded. I mean, if you're gonna have somebody take the pin on the men's side, I mean, it's sad to say it, but it's probably Jimmy or Jay. Like probably Jimmy, or maybe you have Jay if they want to try to push him heel, but I don't know. But this was great where they
Cody says it's my team. On the heel side, who you looking at? Logan Paul? It's the only one I could see.
Maybe, or like maybe Bronson Reed after a certain thing. I don't know.
It's tough, isn't it?
It is. I feel like Logan Paul, if you're gonna have the baby faces win, I feel like the answer is Logan Paul. Kind of like they did, what was it, the JD a couple of years ago, where he takes everybody's move. You know what I mean? It's like the go to sleep into like the double super kick.
I don't
know. I don't know. No, and that's actually when we get to it later at the end of the show. Like that's one of the intriguing things about it is I'm not sure.
Yeah.
At this moment, I think the heels probably win, and it's Jimmy or Jay, depending on how they want to go with it. But we'll see. I'm not sure. But this promo exchange was great because Cody says it's my team, and immediately you get the. I've always loved Punk for bringing that song out because I always loved that song even when I was a kid. I'm just a big fan of Living Color and Cult of Personality. But they go back and forth. Roman tells Punk that you saved me at Survivor Series last year, or you saved my life, but then you ruined my life. I thought that was good. This is a fun opening segment and sets up War Games very, very well. And then they even go to it further later with the main event. But I really enjoyed this.
Roman's coming across like he's in, but it's not 100% in, maybe not. Yeah.
Right. Which with his character that kind of works. So like he's a baby face, but I wouldn't say he's a reluctant baby face, but his character hasn't changed that much from the Roman who reigned with the title for 4 years, which is good. That's what we always talked about. Like you can't just all of a sudden be like the smiling happy baby face when you burn somebody's house down. Sorry.
Yeah, this was a good beginning. Got me in a good mood.
I liked it. I thought it was good. It was good. And then you had the Vision in the locker room. I forgot. I tried to grab the pictures of it, but they wouldn't come out and clear. But where Paul Heyman was telling Logan Paul, you're gonna have to team up with Drew McIntyre in the main event because Brock's not here yet, and you have to do it because my guys aren't doing it, which I thought was good. I like that stuff. I mean, and honestly, like I feel like even if Logan doesn't do much with the Vision after this, like working with Paul Heyman for a month and a half is never a bad thing for anybody in this business. I know that not every Paul Heyman guy has worked out. What was it? Michael McGillicuddy. I know they called him something else, but I
could see Logan Paul sticking with them for quite some time.
I could too.
He's not their full time, so why not?
Right. Well, and especially with Seth being out, like it wouldn't. I'm not sure if this would have been the move if Seth didn't get hurt, but with Seth getting hurt, it makes all the sense in the world. And they're working it well. It's not like he's like just replacing Seth. It's just they've changed it up a bit, which, as I've said from the beginning with Triple H, whether I agree with this booking a lot or not, he's very good at pivoting and like working with what he has. Like, hey, this storyline is this person's been hurt. We're just gonna pivot and change things and keep making it work, as opposed to where Vince, it was just like, nope, we're done, we're moving on. Now you're was it forget what the hedge the beaver was where he was supposed to be was it Beaver Cleaver or whatever?
Oh, Beaver Cleavage?
Beaver cleavage. Thank you. Yes. He was a headbanger. The other headbanger gets hurt. Instead of just waiting, they just boom, throw you into that. That's what Vince would do. He would just throw. Recently the headbangers did they had a thing on WWE where they went through their career on the WWE Vault. Those are my favorite things, the retrospectives. Rhino just did one too, where they basically just get the guy in the studio for 30 to 40 minutes talking about their career and showing you clips from it all. Oh my God, I forgot how much I enjoyed the headbangers back in the day.
It's so hard to plan ahead in wrestling, especially.
It is.
All it takes is one. Like Penta gets hurt, so later on in the show he gets hurt. So you got a nice rise going, then all of a sudden like Seth Rollins, shit like that happens all the time.
Yeah,
and it happens on stupid stuff. Like
right. At least like when Seth got injured, it wasn't that unexpected because the move that he did. But like when Penta got hurt, you're like, what the hell happened? And we'll talk about it as we get there with it. But that's one of the things that Triple H is great at, of like planting other seeds where not everything has to come to fruition right away. You can kind of figure out like, hey, we've got this going on in the background, or oh, this person got hurt, so now we can bring them forward with it. It's a good adjustment, because honestly, if you'd have, I'm sure what they had planned out for this, where it was probably going to end with Seth versus Punk at WrestleMania, had, from Crown Jewel to WrestleMania, they had planned out, and they had to completely change. And it's not like they've thrown it in the toilet. It's still good stuff. And I really enjoyed this. I thought this was.
Yeah, you just move one thing to the back burner, bring something to the front, keep your four things just flying around.
But you got to have a back burner. That's the
that's the one good thing about having the deep roster.
Yes.
I mean,
yes. Yeah. Very, very, very true.
If there's one good thing, it's that.
Yep. You've always got people ready to go with it, because and nowadays too, it's not like people are going to work injured like they used to. Or like, oh, they're hurt. When you're injured, you're going to be taken off the roster for a bit, which is good. You don't want people, you don't want people not living till their 60s or not being able to walk. So I'm glad that Gunther is back to like the old style Imperium music. I like the boxer robe that he's got. It gives him, cool. I feel like, more legitimacy. Yeah, I feel like he's Cornette, I think, said it the other week, where he was like, he's a heel, but he's like the respectful heel, like, in a sense, or honorable heel, where he doesn't cheat, like he doesn't need to. He's gonna talk his shit, but he's Gunther, and poor Carmelo Hayes in this match.
Capable of cheating, though. Capable.
Yeah. And I feel like that's one of the things, like, if he has to, like, to defend or get a title, he will. Maybe even against Cena, if that's what it comes. And like Carmelo Hayes, you feel bad in a sense just because he has to take the beating from Gunther. But I thought this was a great match and a great showing from Hayes. This, as we've talked about many times on this show, of somebody's got to go over, but the other guy can get over. And Hayes had a good showing for himself.
There were many people that picked Hayes to win this tournament.
That's interesting. I didn't, but I could see. Okay. I mean, yeah, I like Carmelo. I think he's got a lot of talent. I think there was a little bit too much, I wouldn't say pressure put on him, but almost too much expectation, I think, from some people, because he was so great in NXT.
Yeah, people like him backstage. He's a very good dude backstage, and people seem to get along with him. He's a good dude, so he'll get his time.
Exactly, and he's a hard worker, and he's not like, his character is taking some things to heart and being kind of shitty about it, but I don't think him as a person is. And yeah, it's one of those things that, like, if you impress Shawn and Triple H and work hard, you're gonna get far. I always think of Bronson Reed, of where people were talking, he got released by Vince, but then Triple H brought him back, but they didn't really do it much with him for the first 8 to 10 months. And people like, oh, they've wasted him. He should have went back to Japan. He beat Okada, blah, blah, blah. And then in one show, he Tsunami Seth 6 times, wins 7 matches in a row, and then he all of a sudden, hey, look, he's the next person to pin Roman Reigns, or excuse me, first person to pin Roman Reigns aside from Cody in 6 years. They know how to build people up.
Every single person that I've heard talk about Hayes says the same thing. He's a very good listener.
And that's so much.
That's pretty.
That's all I need to hear. I'm sold. That's my number one problem.
You know how you talk to somebody and you're talking and you can tell they're not paying attention to you, but they're looking like they're faking it. You can tell people paying attention to you.
They're waiting for their time to speak.
Yeah. I do it all the time. I'll look at you like, okay, fuck off.
Yeah.
But when I'm interested, I lock eyes and I make contact with the person. That's what he does. So
yeah, and it's like, that's in this business. That's the best way to learn in this business is from people who have done it, and not because they know all. Like, most of them will tell you, hey, don't make this dumbass mistake that I did back when. Like, that's back to like with Eric Bischoff and Tony Khan, and like their feuds or whatever, but Tony gets pissy about what Eric says. He's like, I'm just trying to tell you, here's what I did wrong. Like, maybe don't do what I did.
Well, think about it. If you're in the back, you're Carmelo Hayes, Triple H comes up to you and starts talking to you, and he's looking at you dead eye straight, and you're not paying attention to him, he picks up on that probably pretty fast, huh?
Pretty damn quick, I would think.
Okay.
And
all right.
Yeah. And if like, hey, you did something, like don't do, like they give you a fix of like, hey, I see you're doing this. And then like the next match, you do it again and you keep doing it and you keep doing it. Like you don't listen, you don't care because you know all. No, he seems like the guy who
Hayes is really good, but there was no way he was going to beat Gunther and wanted this champion. Gunther was,
and that's
I think Gunther was slated to win this thing from the get-go.
I have too. I've always thought that made the most sense to me. I always thought it was the most logical. It's the perfect push for like Gunther's that guy where yes, he's established himself, but whoever's going to have that last match from Cena is going to get a great rub off of that, and Gunther's perfect for it. And this match was great. Obviously, Gunther was going to win. That made the most sense, but Carmelo had some good spots. There was a couple of hope spots where you thought he might actually do it, and they kind of gave. This is fun. It wasn't like it was a 3-minute squash, which I feel like some people are acting like it was because he lost. No. Yeah, I know. I say people, but let's be real.
And I've kind of changed my tune on what you suggested a while back. I've changed my mind on this. And I think if Trick comes up, there you go. Trick Williams and Carmelo again. I think that's a good idea.
I'm not saying they got to be teamed up forever. It would be a great story for a bit, and then they can.
I nixed your idea relatively quickly, and I watched this match, and I'm like, you know what? That might work for me. And I changed my mind.
I would, and as we'll get into with NXT, I feel like Trick is not so much treading water there, but like he's wrapping up his final things. Like he's like, all right, we're filing this up. We're gonna close this up, put these guys over. But
yeah, I can see Trick. I can see Trick coming up, like walking backstage and going past Carmelo, and I was, hey, there you go.
Yeah. No, I'd be with that.
I changed my mind. Congratulations.
Hey, that's awesome. When people I always talk about what I love about what we do is we could disagree and argue about a topic and like we're fine. Hey, you didn't change your mind. I wasn't planning to. We're just giving you my opinion. No, that's good. But that's a lot of times we do change others' mind. It works. Speaking of changing minds, you had that scene back with again, stars, just massive stars, where Roman's like, figure this out, whose team it is, that whole thing. And then the Usos are obviously like, we're going to go be in the tag match because we're the tag team, which made sense. I mean, obviously, if you're going to send somebody out for a tag team in the advantage match, you send out the greatest tag team in the history of WWE. That was good, though. I just like
they're so much better as a tag team.
They are. They really are. And I get like there is cool stuff with like it was fun to watch Jay be a single for a bit or whatever with it. But with how like over the Yeet gimmick is, adding Jimmy to it doesn't hurt it. It just
not at all.
And both of them going down the thing and doing it. No, I love it. I think
it saves
everybody. Yeah, it does.
Jay, we've seen now. Jay goes out there and does the Yeet thing, and he's dead in the ring. So now you got somebody else. Perfect.
Yeah. No, it's a little. Yeah. Right. It just kind of share the energy a bit because you're right. I mean, and I can't blame him. I would be gassed as hell too. So I get it 100%.
Too much.
So then we get the I guess the most controversial segment of
this was awesome.
Right? Thank you. Here's the thing. Anybody who I saw shitting on it are the people that are just gonna hate on WWE no matter what. Like, dude, this is like a Vince segment. It's like, no, it's a wrestling segment.
Yeah, if you like any kind of Mexican wrestling at all, all, CMLL, AAA, AA, whatever, it doesn't matter. Minis are a part of the deal.
And yes, for sure. And it's also one of those things where people like remember when Shawn Michaels in Montreal like played Bret Hart's music and like popped the crowd, but Bret wasn't there. Like that a lot of times after that, I feel like they did it too much because they were trying to recreate that moment and it doesn't work. But in the right moments where Cena's already had his last Raw, he's not on it, but then you hit his music, you're going to pop the hell out of the crowd. And they waited. And it was funny because I was watching it and like it waited just a little bit too long. And I'm like, it's not Cena. That's all I was thinking. Well, I thought it was maybe going to be like Finn Balor dressed as him or something. Do
you remember the first time they did Gilbert?
Yes. Well, I don't know if I remember the first time.
Dude, the first time.
Oh, where they faked it? Yeah. 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 Right, because it was the first time they didn't have the sparklers yet.
Same thing here.
Yeah,
Same thing
yeah.
here.
And this shot killed me where they had the mini stew.
The mini stew was awesome. It was perfectly done.
Great. It was so
John Wiener is perfect. That's his name, John Wiener.
Because he's one of the minis from that show that was on, like, what was it, A&E or whatever?
Micro Brawlers.
Yes, thank you. This is why we're a team.
Dude, they came here live. They sold out the convention center.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that because we were yes, I remember
Mm.
that. Yeah. No, this was great. And Dom talks his shit and like acts like it's Cena and beats him up and hits the, like what's half a 619. You know what I mean? Like that's what it was. Like this was fun.
Yeah, give credit where credit's due. John Wiener took some bumps, dude.
Yeah, oh yeah,
awesome. He worked his ass off.
Look, he knows. Like it's because here's the thing. It's not like we were like, oh, this was a Vince segment. No, Vince would like do repeated things with minis and stupid things. Like, yes, this was stupid. This was a one-off to get heat on Dominic. So this guy knows, like, he's not getting many more, or if not other chances. This was his shot to do it. Hit your bomb. Go big.
He got paid for this too.
Yes, of course he did.
A lot of money.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he did. I don't know if he's from Oklahoma City. He probably got flown in first class. No, yeah. I mean, took a tadpole splash. No, this was great. I have no notes for this segment.
I didn't see the big deal about it.
I didn't. No, it's
old school.
Yes,
old school stuff that I remember always seeing.
Yeah.
Even if you listen to Cornette segments, guest the program, there's always a midget section. In
I was just gonna say, and they're not called minis there or midgets. Little people there. Midgets. Yeah, and
they like to be called midgets. So that's fine.
Just gonna say, I've had two that were friends in my life. I went to college with one of them, and he's like, "Do not call me a little person. I'm a midget." Like that's what it was. Yeah, like no, and the segment was awesome. It was great. And I didn't realize because I was watching Raw live, so I wasn't paying. Like sometimes I'll try to like live tweet ideas, but I try not to because I don't want to like get sucked into the vortex. So I just usually avoid. And it was afterwards I was scrolling through like, really? People were mad about this, but it was like Dave and Elboo and people that just want to hate spreading that. Oh, this is a Vince segment. Vince is back. This is come on. No, this was wrestling. And then Rey Mysterio comes out and makes the save. Exactly.
One time. If they were doing this for weeks and weeks now, I'd be pissed.
But it'd be a waste of time. Exactly. This was perfect. All this does, since you weren't going to have Cena on the show, you need to set up, you need to like have that last thing before the PLE on Saturday. And this was it. It was perfect. I loved it. And then it also leads right into Ray, because Ray comes out to make the save. And then you have Ray versus JD McDonough as the next match. It's perfect.
Yeah, more minis.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
No, I remember we've been putting over JD McDonough for a long time on this show, and clearly the company loved. I mean, he's lost matches, but he's lost matches to like. Didn't he lose to like Cena, Rey Mysterio? He lost to some other Hall of Famers. Like he's just wrestling everywhere, and he's so damn good. He's always in the right spot. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's safe. You have these moments where like, oh, you need to have it miss that and get a hit by Ray, and then right in position for the 619. Like it's just perfect. Like I'm so glad that he didn't get more hurt than he did with that dive out where he like cracked. He really was. Like, yeah, he got really messed up, but it could have been like much worse, and he's too talented for that. And so I obviously the company thinks the world of him. He probably will never be a world champion, but I could easily see him having a really long intercontinental US title run as like the main heel of the mid card. Like he's great.
So we got to see a nice 619 from Ray, and then 309.5 from
309.5 from Dom. And then like Shin comes at him, and like, I always love how Ray does it, like the escape move too. This was great. I enjoyed it. Obviously, Ray was gonna win, duh, but it was a lot of fun. And then we had the backstage segment with Pierce where he's talking to Raquel Rodriguez and the New Day with Grayson Waller. There's gonna be a World Tag Team title match next week apparently with the New Day, so that should be fun. I mean,
I always forget they're part of the show. I always forget New Day. Somehow.
I feel like from what I've understand, and I don't watch everything, but or see people online. But from what I understand, like they're on a lot of like the international segments where we're getting commercials. They're cutting promos internationally, which is cool, but like, I'd watch that. I'm good with
Okay.
that.
Yeah, 100%. For our AEW fans that pay attention to us on our Thursday night show, picture Bryan Danielson where Adam Pearce is and tell me it wouldn't be so
Yes.
much better, folks.
It so much better. I don't understand. Like I said yesterday on our live show, because that was one of the statements made on our live show, was you said Bryan Danielson needs to get off commentary and become the GM. I just, for every time, like there's not been a better statement made on any of the shows that we've done from either of us, from anybody guests we've had. Like that's the
not
most
because it's not because
obvious.
it's me, but there's never been a
No.
better statement made on any of the shows about AEW.
It's so
because no one
obvious.
suggests it. Nobody.
Yeah. And it's so blatantly obvious that like it'd be, and then maybe Tony Khan wouldn't have chaos in his office every week. They wouldn't be breaking in and yelling at him because he'd have
100%.
Danielson in there to come and give him a running knee or whatever. No, I've never been more sold on anything. Like you talked earlier, like, oh, you changed my mind. No, yeah, I was with you on day one. You're leading the charge, but I'm right there with you. So we're like the JC train hype train. Like I'm right there with you, but you're the conductor. And so then we got the women's war games teams, which again, stars. Like Lash is new, but she's huge. And I mean, there's 3 former world champions. I know Kairi Sane's not one, but there's a reason why they're the tag champs. And then you've got, world champion, world champion, world champion, world champion, world champion. All of them. I mean, I know AJ was the Divas champion, but that's still a world title. It was the world title of the time. Exactly. So, I mean, just
this is going to be interesting to see how they pull this off.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be fun, though. I feel like I think that the heels will win due to like tension between Charlotte and Rhea.
So you got the heels winning both.
I'm not sure. No, I'm saying if the heels win, that would probably be why. I do probably think the baby faces do win for the women, but I think saying it out loud, I'm pretty sure the heels are going to win the men's match.
That's the problem with having both
sure.
these on the same show.
Yeah.
Because war games were always, not always, but 90% of the time the baby faces won the war games because it built up to it for years.
Because it was also ending the story. Like you weren't just doing it to do it. Yeah, no, this is, and I mean, I remember I feel like this is probably one of those like deals that was made, because I know Triple H like didn't want to have, or they would have like the
Hell in a Cell
at a pay-per-view, and the Elimination Chamber, they've got it set up right, because it's not like you're not challenging a team. There's not building it. It's trying to get that last spot at WrestleMania. That's the storyline behind it. And that works and that makes sense. But with War Games, it really, like, again, this is where this is the stadium that needs a match as opposed to the match that needs the stadium. Like it's fun.
They easily could have done without the women's one, I thought, but we talked about that too.
Yep. And it's one of those things where I still think, like, if you're going to do these with like Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, War Games, you're going to have 2. You get a 2. That should be a 2-night PLE situation. Like, I know it's like, like where you could have one each night, the women's and the men's, like whether men's goes on Saturday, women's Sunday, vice versa, just for all of them, because they also take up a lot of time I've got the Survivor Series card pulled up. I mean, technically it's only 4 matches,
right? Yeah. 4 or 5.
Yeah. 4. No, it's 4. Okay. And unless they announce something on SmackDown tonight. So I'm not sure, but I mean, this was cool though. This was fun. I mean, obviously Io had to hit a move with everybody on it. She's going to do her, they've got to change it up a bit, something with the trash can spot that she does, because she's done that pretty much every War Game.
Hopefully we don't see that.
Yeah, I know people love it. I think it's like people love it and expect it, but it's cool, but I don't know if you need to do it every year. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's one of those things that law of diminishing returns, but it's what it is.
100%.
So the baby faces stood tall. I wonder what that means. Does that mean they're gonna lose? Or but it was fun. It was a good way of promoting it. I thought they're setting up well. It should be. I mean, it'll be enjoyable. Hopefully the women's is not too long and we don't have any sky blue situations.
No, last year the women's was better than the men's.
Yes, that's true. So. And the women, as far as I understand, I think all 10 were okay after it, as we're like 40% of the men's roster last year was out from major surgery. So then we had Ivy Nile threatening Maxine backstage. That's a good first win for Maxine, I guess. Like that was I honestly for a second thought it was Beth Phoenix without like I'd be looking like Beth, like a smaller Beth there. I was confused.
Yeah, she had her hair done different.
Yeah, right. She didn't have the like the
Looks
braids
totally
and stuff.
different than she always does. Yeah, 100%.
Which good for her. I mean, because I don't know exactly. We don't know when Gable's coming back. I don't know exactly what's happening with the Creed brothers. So she's do her own thing, do something because she is very talented. Like she's
That's
small,
mostly a wig, right?
I don't know.
That's mostly a wig she's wearing.
It's probably extension, I would think.
Yeah, the extensions you can tell. Yeah, okay.
That's what I would think, but I don't know. I'm not really a hair person. I don't ever try to say, especially with women's hair. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, it looks great, Ivy. Looks great. Stephanie Vaquer cut a promo in the back for the match against Nikki Bella. I mean, I get it. You know, Nikki Bella's a legend. I've never been the biggest Bella's guy, but I get it. Hopefully
she looks great though. She does.
She does.
The best she's ever looked. Awesome.
And I feel like it's one of those things where you play up to your, like, you know, people like in sports, you play up to your opponent. So sometimes people play, and so she needs to step up her game. And I feel like she has, but I don't know how much she can. So we'll see. This is gonna be tough to fill because you got to think they're probably gonna give it 15, right? I would think almost just because you're gonna have to. You need some power because you're gonna. It's 4 matches, so you're starting with a war game, ending with the war games, and
technically this match should be about 5-6 minutes, 7 tops.
Yeah,
should.
Right. And I'm sure Nikki will do something to kind of like cheat or maybe, and like there'll be like a they'll have like a drug out segment where like Stephanie's trying to get back in the ring or something, but we'll see. I did see online that they're doing it where they've got a setup over the ring where it's covered in case it rains, and like they can raise and lower the cages for the war games. I saw somebody Brad Becker sent me a post of it, but somebody who lives across the street or like an apartment complex that can see into Petco Park showed them building it, testing out all the lights and stuff. Looks good. Should be fun. I'm sure. Hopefully the weather's going to be good. I haven't seen what they're predicting, but hopefully.
So they're probably selling some obstructed view tickets somewhere.
I would think so.
Yeah.
The way it looks, I'm assuming that I would think that they know after a certain point up they can't see, but I don't know. But I did see they've sold over 40,000 tickets, so good for them, man. They're looking good on that set. You can't be opposed to that.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then we had, like we were talking about earlier, where Solo versus Penta, and then Penta got hurt. I didn't quite see what happened. I'm not sure. Like it looked like he tried to do like a.
I saw it. I saw it when he landed. It didn't look like he was hurt. It didn't look like it. Then you see his shoulder just dip, and you're like, "Oh, that's gone."
Okay, so it was the shoulder. I wasn't sure if it was the shoulder or like maybe
I think it was his left.
Hit his head and he got a concussion or something. I don't know, but
I didn't see that.
They said Solo. Well, I mean, obviously, Solo had to win because Penta was injured from referee stoppage. But it's just weird. I mean, but that's. I mean, again, we talked about before with wrestling. Like that's part of the deal. People are going to get injured. It's just. I don't want to say it's funny, but it's odd to watch how different it is when it's a shoot injury to when they have the
it was his shoulder
storyline ones. Okay, was it? That's what it seemed like. I just didn't quite see it, but I mean, hey, with the shoulder, you hit it wrong or pop it wrong, and that thing rips out of place. So I get it. No, that sucks. Though. I mean, especially since they just were bringing him and Ray Phoenix back together on AAA. So, yep. And then we had
you could like I said, you could tell when I was just looking up his injury.
Yeah.
You can tell when he landed. It looked like he landed fine, but once he stood up, you could see it slump down. It's hard to explain on.
Yeah, no, but I get that point though, because I had a really bad ankle, like a high ankle sprain when I was playing soccer when I was like 15, and like it felt bad when I went down, but like the moment I got up, it was like, nope. Like you can feel just nope. There's no chance of it. So I mean, you get
no concussion though. No concussion.
That's good. No, that's good. That's good. And hopefully, I mean, if it's not like a major thing, hopefully he came back somewhat soon. But also, I mean, Liv was her shoulder, and that was like 16 weeks. So
yeah,
we will see.
The 2 surgeries I would stay away from my absolute life are back surgeries and shoulder surgeries.
No, yeah, no, that may,
the worst.
Yeah, and if things go wrong, it's like how often do you need that shit? We talked about back injuries yesterday on our live shows. Tune into it here on AltJake Takes On. This is a fun main event, though. I enjoyed this for what it was. I mean, you knew it would. You're getting the War Games preview. You know, you knew it was going to end with everybody being involved with it, and it was the what is they called the advantage match.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was what it was. I mean, Logan Paul and I almost had forgot that Logan and Drew teamed together at SummerSlam against Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. I think Joe Test mentioned that. I was like, oh yeah, that did happen.
It did.
It was only August, but it seems so long ago, right? Yeah, but it seems so long ago. And then the Vision comes out, and then Cody runs out, and Punk runs out. This one, if Seth isn't going to be around for WrestleMania, CM Punk versus Logan Paul is not a terrible match. You know what I mean?
That would be good.
Right? I feel like you're kind of planting certain seeds here and there where if that has to happen, I could see that. I could see that. That'd be fun. But obviously the heels had to win. Duh. You need to have the heels have the advantage. It doesn't, as we saw with what was it, the women's or no, it was the men's war blood and guts match where the men's having the babyface having the advantage. They just took Mark Briscoe out because it just doesn't work storyline wise. Right. And then Roman comes out and Brock comes out and has his little people were calling it a Shockmaster moment. I'm like, come on, guys. He just slipped a little bit and did a little judo roll. Like it was silly. It was funny, but
yeah, when I first saw it, I thought he did it on purpose. Like he hasn't been out there in a while and he got the fireworks. He's startled. And I thought he did it on purpose.
And he played it off so well with it. And also, and he's so well, I was more impressed with how athletic he is at that size and that age. Is more of his age at this point. Still, you're like, Jesus. I mean, shoot, I'm 43. I took a slipper fall. I could be down for weeks.
No, you ain't getting me up
from a wheelchair. But again, this is star power. I mean, just star power. You've got, I mean, I don't think they're the 10 top stars in the company, but they're 10 of the top male stars in the company.
Yeah, and if anybody's gonna come up with the ending of the show, you knew it was gonna be this.
Absolutely. Like there was no other way to do
obvious, it. Yeah.
And then the baby faces stood tall and they went to the Prime Station and gave Logan a bath, which was fun. I mean, that was a good, fun, silly way to end it. Like I said before, with the ladies winning, I don't know if that means, because a lot of times, whoever stands tall the show before the pay-per-view, but also the ladies are having their advantage match on Friday, so that could change all of that. But this I would think the heels win at War Games for the men, just because storyline wise, because it's not the end, that's like you were saying before with the old school War Games, it was ending whatever it was, like ending that storyline or ending that angle, and that was almost always have the baby faces go over because then people would pay to buy tickets the next month. So it makes sense. But I enjoyed it. It was a good Raw. I liked it.
It did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you're not interested at this point, well,
right. And I was just saying, I mean, what did we talk about? The men's and women's War Games, that hair cutter promo on Nikki Bella, and then Dom and the Minis for the John Cena match. So it all worked. It all made sense. I enjoyed it. I was ready to I am very much ready for the PLE this Saturday, which
I wish Stephanie Becker and Nikki Bella all the best for their match, because they're going to need to do something, dude.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah,
or add one match tonight to the card, something.
Which might happen tonight on SmackDown. You're right. I could see that, but also, I mean, a lot of times when it is these type of matches with the big men's and women's, like with Royal Rumble, it's usually the same kind of way. But so nothing during the Survivor Series show, but after, I will be on This Is Awful on the Awful Wrestling YouTube channel for a post-game live show. We're gonna go on and talk about all the matches. I'm sure we'll crack some fun jokes. I'm pretty positive we're going on at 11 p.m. Eastern on their YouTube channel, but I feel like most people follow Awful. He's got like 15,000 followers, but stay tuned on Twitter.
16.
We will make sure to let people know. 16. Wow. Good for him, man. As we've seen with him, when every time he's on our show, we get a lot of likes and a lot of dislikes. There's the haters pay attention to him, but hey, a hater follow is just as good as a friendly follow. So if you're listening to this show and you do not subscribe to the YouTube channel, please give us a subscribe. It helps us out. It continues to help us create this product for you. But I'm excited for Survivor Series for sure.
I'm sorry, you were right. 15-2. My fault.
Okay. All right. I knew he got it recently at 15, but hey,
I jumped the gun. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm just trying to get to 700. So shout out to him on that one.
You know me, I could care less.
I just want to be able to. I want to put more people out so they come in and support the show. Like I said, we don't have a ton of followers and a ton of subscribers yet, but from what I see in the stats and the retention, the people who watch and listen usually watch and listen all the way through, and they enjoy it. And we're getting bigger crowds for the live shows.
Yeah, one of those people, just tell one of your friends.
That's
all
it.
we need. There's 325 people. You tell one. That's it.
Yeah, we don't even need
nothing.
We don't need the they tell two friends. They tell two friends. Yeah, we won't. Yeah, there are options to donate, but they are only optional. You can everything else is free. We want to provide all the content. We're also on all podcast platforms. We got live shows on YouTube, live shows on X. No, not at all. No. I'm just supporting. I
got nervous there for a minute.
We got to do a little bit more of the promotion. I'm trying to promote in between before we get into NXT, which is what we'll get into next. So yeah, we'll get into NXT Gold Rush week 2 that started off with, and it's good for the Evolve folks, but I'm not. We've admitted it. I've admitted it plenty of times. I haven't watched Evolve much, if at all, because I don't have the time, especially with us doing the AEW live reviews now. We've got to do those and then watch AEW to get through it. But
when they come up to NXT, we'll pick them up.
Yeah. So that's on the left there is Shawn Legacy, and the right was Jackson Drake, who was the reigning Evolve champion. And I mean, I watched the match. I enjoyed it. I mean, you can see why these guys have a potential future, but there's a reason why they're in Evolve and not on NXT yet. Ooh, that was a hell of a sentence to try to say.
Yeah.
But it was enjoyable. It didn't go too long. Like it wasn't, they didn't have a super uber competitive match with 37 kickouts. I think it went like 9 minutes total, which was perfect. But I enjoyed it. And then Jackson Drake retained his title, which makes sense. I mean, this was more of a showcase for Evolve.
Yeah, you're not going to get me talk too much on this story.
I figured that's literally why I was like, and then we went to Ethan Page and Sol Ruca in the back, which I like this because Ethan Page is trying to, like we've talked about so many times with NXT, NXT gives you that chance to be a baby face and then a heel and then maybe team up with and like try different characters. And I know Sol Ruca has been like the ultimate baby face, but maybe she needs to have a little bit of a heel run or at least an edge to her, Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. So I like this. And then I like Myles Borne coming in and, talking down to Ethan Page because he's got Myles Borne's in the main event with Trick Williams to see who gets in the Iron Survivor match. But I don't see, even if he wins that and goes into having the title match for the NXT title, I don't think he's ready for the NXT title yet, but I could see him getting in a good program for the North American title, maybe taking it from Ethan for a bit. Plus, it'd be great, as we've said plenty of times, working with Ethan Page is never a bad thing for anyone's career. You're not going to get hurt. You're going to learn. Like he's in a great spot for him. So I'm excited for that. And then we've got the women's speed match. Yeah, we're kind of going to burn through NXT pretty quickly.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot going on.
There wasn't. But I mean, there was. As we get towards the end, they're setting themselves up well. And then we've still got one more NXT before Deadline, and Deadline is looking entertaining with it. But this match, again, was what it needed to be. Fallon Henley with her team coming out with her with JC Jane and coming out for the fatal. I always want to call them Fatal Attraction, but it's Fatal Influence because they were Toxic Attraction. And Zarya coming out on her own. Sol Ruca didn't join her, which is good. Like that makes sense for their team. I still think it'll probably end up with Zarya turning on Sol, but we'll see. Maybe they'll surprise us with it.
Yeah, might go vice versa.
It could. I could see that.
Yeah.
And I mean, this was fun. Zarya's ridiculously strong, and then it was a 5 minute. I think it was a 5 minute time limit.
Speed limit's 3, match. Isn't it?
Well, their speed. So they're in the tournament of speed, yes, but when it's the title match, it's 5. Because when I was at SmackDown earlier in the year, the dark match before the show was it was when Candice LeRae had it, and it was her versus Natty, and it was the speed title match. And it was 5 minutes because I was like, oh, these are only 3 minutes, and they put a 5 minute clock on the counter. I'm like, oh, well, there.
Well,
But
at least they put the clock up there for you.
Yeah, and they went the distance with it so that they could go sudden death, which makes sense because Zarya and Fallon are both similarly evenly matched up, so it made sense. And then Zarya tries to hit Fallon, like run into her up against the stairs. Fallon gets moved out of the way so that Zarya runs into the stairs on her own, and Fallon gets the win, which makes sense. I mean, Fatal Influence needs to have all the belts, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of their thing with it. They're the heels with titles. They're the badass heels, I guess, with them. In that
Fallon Henley's slowly starting to improve.
Yeah, no,
she's improving.
Yeah, no, she's always got the physical talent. I just think that like she was such a white meat babyface for so long. Like even when she beat Tiffany Stratton before Tiffany went up to the main roster, that I think it took her a while to figure out this heel stuff. I think she's probably like naturally like a super nice person, and being a heel just didn't feel right to her or something, or didn't fit. But you got to learn how to do it and get better with it, and she definitely has. And I thought that was great. Another Shiloh Hill promo. Like this kid, obviously they have a lot of future, a lot of hype for him because he won, I think, season 2 of LFG. He's already been signed to Nicola Piccolo's agency. So, you know, there's definitely a bright future. I think he's got like 10 million followers on either YouTube or Instagram, whatever he does, his social media, maybe TikTok. I'm not the best social media guy. I'll admit that.
Yeah, this is kind of where I had to work the next morning at 5 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Which you didn't know. So, but
no, I
saw this and I was like, okay, this is an interesting setup he's got going here. So he must be a social guy. And sure enough, he was.
That's his thing. And yeah, it should be interesting. And I like how they're using like, hey, here's what you do or know in real life. So we're going to use that in your gimmick, especially for the younger folks. If you had to like adopt a fully brand new gimmick out of the blue while you're trying to learn, that's a bit tough. And then we had Cena doing the Iron Survivor stuff, announcing he did the 5 men and then the women and later in the show. But that's kind of cool to have Cena being the one promoting that, because like we talked about the other matches at his Saturday Night's Main Event, the Cena's last match are all NXT exhibitions, so that should be cool.
Did he announce any of the matches or anything?
No,
I was out at this point.
Yeah. So what he announced was the 5 competitors for the 2 Iron Survivor matches at Deadline on the 6th.
Right. So no.
So yeah, no, that was the whole thing, is he was gonna pick like and it was kind of cool because he said like each 5 and talked a little bit about each one and put them over and why he put them in the groups and stuff, and you know, just that kind of segments with it, which made a lot of sense and worked.
We can kind of get an idea what he's thinking for Saturday night's main event. Yeah,
kind of, yeah, because he definitely like really put over like Javon Evans and Leon Slater, and then it was you know, with Myles Borne or Trick Williams, whoever wins, he gave reasons why both of them are great. Yeah, it was one of those things like every young talent that he talked about that moment has to like feel better about themselves and be ready to move forward. It's cool stuff for sure. I didn't realize this match was happening on this show. I thought this was at like the next TNA show. So I didn't realize there was the TNA Knockouts title with Jordan Grace versus Lei Ying Lee instead of Xia Li, and then Kalani Jordan, obviously. I didn't realize this was happening, and then it was a good fun triple threat match, and then Xia Li, or now was it Lei Ying Lee, won the match. I was surprised. Those names, I'm terrible at names, and Xia Li, I want to call her Xia Li, but I don't want to call her old name. I feel bad about that, but hey, good for her. It was a good way of doing it, where Jordan Grace hits her finisher on Kalani, and then Lee pushed her off and hit her finisher, so that was for sure to win. That worked. I liked it. I was just A, I was surprised the match was on the card, and B, I was surprised that she won. There was a title change. So
she's on TNA, right?
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, she used to be. She was Xia Li in WWE. Yeah, she's going. I think it's her real name, but yeah, she's a full TNA roster member. So right. No, it's cool. I was surprised by it, and then pleasantly surprised by it all. I mean, title changes are always fun. I just was not expecting that at all. And then we had the Ricky Saints interview setting up for him versus Oba at Deadline. That should be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Not really sure who wins, because I mean, Ricky won the first time. Almost like, does Oba get it back, or does somebody interfere? I'm not sure, but I was like, I love. The first show we ever did was right after Ricky Saints debuted. So I feel like he's kind of been our guy from the start. So I was a fan of him as Ricky Starks in AEW. So
knowing that, I think Oba beats him.
Probably, I would. That's what I'm thinking too. But
we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm intrigued by the show for sure. And then we had the women's Evolve match with Kendall Gray and Lainey
people
Reed.
We didn't know.
Yeah, I've seen Kendall Gray on NXT because she does stuff with Ren Sinclair, and I think Ren Sinclair is very talented, kind of similar in the ways like we talked about with like Maxine Dupree and Chelsea Green, and that like being able to, hey, I'm gonna do what I was asked of me, and I'm gonna give my best effort and that sort of thing. Like Ren Sinclair is great with that. I think she's very, very talented. But yeah, sure this was a match, and it was fine. But again, as we said with the men's match, you can see why they are on Evolve, and for all four competitors in both matches, clearly this is the biggest match they've had yet in their careers.
Sure.
I mean, you're at the theater at Madison Square Garden, and so at least nobody like made a fool of themselves or did anything super stupid or hurt themselves or anything. So I enjoyed it. And then Kendall Gray, to make sure I look at Kendall Gray won, and good for her. Sure. And then we had the main event where we had
Sorry, I have no witty commentary.
No, I got nothing. I yeah, a little bit behind the scenes before we get. That's why we had the longer opening for it and really got deep into Raw, because NXT was fun and there's some good stuff leading up to it. But I feel like next week with their show before Deadline, they're really gonna hype it home. But I was excited for this match because obviously we've both talked glowingly about Trick Williams and how talented he is, but I've always been pretty much from the first time I saw him a pretty big Myles Borne fan when he was in the No Quarter Catch crew, and just like the way he's able to like deal with his disability. I mean, he's deaf, and like he doesn't like make it his whole thing, but he like makes jokes about it, where everybody was comparing him to Randy Orton because the way he looks, and I'm nothing like Randy Orton. He hears voices in his head and I can't hear shit. Like, right. Exactly. Like that's the way to do it. You know what I mean? Like that's the way to make it work for him. And he's big. He's got good size, got a good look, and he's talented. So, and he's got all the potential in the world for sure.
Yeah. Trick's a top notch at this point in his career. He's at the peak of NXT. So yeah, like you said earlier, it's about
I kind of feel that way with him. And this is a good match. Like it was fun. They had a great showing. Trick obviously looks great. He's got all the tools. I don't think he needs any more seasoning. I think he's ready to go up. And I'm wondering if like they're kind of there's not much else to do with the storylines. Like this made sense because Trick had been messing with Myles and they hadn't had a match yet. Like he's already done stuff with Javon. Like I don't know what else he would need to do.
If they do these exhibitions, like I think they're going to be doing, maybe Cena like recommends Trick Williams to Triple H or something during this.
There you go. Maybe that's like a main roster situation. Something I could see it. No, I'd be for it. But Myles got the win, and that's what needed to happen. I mean, Trick's already been in Iron Survivor matches. I think he's been the Iron Survivor. Like, no, this is perfect. And then Dark State came out to surround Myles Borne, and then the baby faces hit the ring, where it's Joe Hendry, Javon Evans, and Leon Slater, which fun stuff. Like this is good for Dark State, having four of them. So not just one or two of them has to be in the match. Like let them all get spots and hide, accentuate their positives, hide their negatives. And the show ended with Javon flying, which was a lot of fun. I enjoyed NXT. It wasn't great, but for what it was, it being the second week of Gold Rush, and then you've got NXT Deadline next week, or not this Saturday, but next Saturday on the 6th. That should be a lot of fun.
You gotta start being careful what you do with Trick though, because you don't want to start just going into a losing streak shit now.
Yeah, no,
he's got his maximum potential tapped out, but you don't want to start having him lose to everybody now. You just gotta be careful.
No, I think you might have nailed it though. It's like have him. He doesn't need to do anything on the next show for NXT, or maybe if they have something with Cena in it. I think you might be right though. Like have him be part of the NXT showcase matches or exhibitions with for Saturday night's main event and bring him up from there. No, I think that would work for him. I think that would work for him. So, and then yeah, for NXT Deadline, we're gonna go live on the YouTube channel for that. Stay tuned. I'll post thumbnails and pictures about it, but have made the decision that we want to. Yeah, we're not gonna try to do like main roster stuff and compete with all the big channels and stuff, but NXT, maybe TNA, possibly some AAA stuff. But NXT has been my bread and butter and my wheelhouse from day one. So we'll do that for Deadline. I'm not exactly sure what time the show starts, but we'll go on 30 minutes beforehand and just cover the show and bring some folks on and talk about it. It'll be fun. But yeah, NXT was good. I'm excited for next week. Raw was awesome, and I'm really excited for Survivor Series tomorrow and talking about it with Dis and Awful afterwards on the Awful Wrestling YouTube channel. That should be a lot of fun. Anything else you wanted to cover?
I purposely did not cancel my ESPN Unlimited thing just to be on the safe side. I read an article the other day where YouTube TV is going to have it in there, but probably not for a couple months yet.
So
we'll see tomorur for sure.
Okay, okay, that's interesting. No, you're a smart man, my friend.
They haven't incorporated it yet.
You're like, until I see it on the actual. Hey, that's smart though, because I've with the way these apps are and certain things with it. The last thing you want to have is happen where you can't actually watch it with it.
If I tune in the YouTube TV tomorrow and it's in there, then I'm gonna drop my ESPN.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
When soccer first started moving to Peacock, there was issues with it initially, and I was paying for an additional soccer channel through my TV at the time to make sure I could watch it. And they finally, once things were working on Peacock, I canceled the other one. I'm like, I don't want to miss that stuff.
No, it's gotta be careful.
Cool. Well,
Sunday night.
That's where I was heading. Yeah. So, like I said, I'll be on with This is Awful on the Awful Wrestling YouTube channel at 11 p.m. Eastern after Survivor Series, and then we'll be back on my X account at AltJakeTakesOn at 8:05 Eastern this Sunday to talk about Survivor Series War Games. We'll also talk about whatever happened on SmackDown as well and any other fun news. And then back on Thursday on our YouTube channel at 9:30 Eastern. Now that's official. We'll start it there. Why not? It's a better time for it. And we are still after the Maniacs and before This Is Awful go on their show. So that's perfect. Anything else you wanted to get before we get out of here, my friend?
No, we got it all covered.
All right. Well, hope everybody has a good weekend. Hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving. Enjoy Survivor Series War Games, and we will catch you next time. Peace.
We appreciate you making it to the end of the video. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.